wife, she murders me, I just keep sleeping.
Yeah, good.
Hey, your fane still out? Yeah, I tried that once.
When she goes away to college, you'll be up all night also.
Yeah, right?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just an initial announcement that Joan Brock is in rehab. She broke her pelvic bone. She'll be there for another week or two.
She broke it.
Yeah. It did not have to be operated on. She took, as of last night, she took the first 60 steps. So she's there. And this is last Thursday, Friday. And she expects to be there another week or two. So, and if anybody is calling, it's, the best time to call would be after 7 o'clock at night.
Are we, or are you getting anything for her?
We sent flowers to her.
Can I be a part of it, or it's too late?
Well, we sent it right away when we do my list.
Okay, I'll thank you.
Okay. So I want to move the minutes to which one first?
So move, Mr. Mayor.
July 21st.
You seconded, you moved already.
Okay, I'll second.
All those in favor? Anybody against, anyone move? It's the open floor, public discussion.
Yes.
You can go first.
I might have to use the bathroom, and then I might miss the public meeting.
You have the same problem I have. I may have to run out, do that for the last 2 hours.
I have 6 bladders,
Ooh.
so.
More than we needed to know.
No, you didn't, I would have said.
That was not for the record.
We strike that from the record.
Okay, Mark Levine, 14 Lancaster Lane, Deputy Chairman of Planning. The first thing, I'm going to make it very brief, because Florence asked me, please. This public hearing at the beginning of the meetings, I really feel it should go back to the way it was. If somebody's 5 minutes late to a meeting, they're going to miss the public hearing. And we just had it with the planning board on the cell phone tower. It was the first one in. In fact, here comes somebody now. Looks like Barbie Miller, so doesn't count. But I heard he's running for mayor. Anyway, I think it should be put at the end of the meeting. At the planning board, we did the cell phone tower, and all, it went pretty fast. At 8:25, we approved it, and the applicant walked out. 3 minutes later, somebody from the public walked in and was not happy. But that's, a half hour later, and it's also many public hearings later, so it wasn't really a concern. But starting the public hearings at 8 o'clock, it's my opinion. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. The other thing I'd like to just quickly address, because it's on your agenda, I know you're opening it up for a public hearing, but in case I'm not there, I just want the board to hear my opinion on it. We've already got the feedback from the planning board. I just want you to be aware. I agree with the change that you're trying to make with the size of signs, that we should only count one side instead of two, because if this is the road, and I put my sign like this, my sign can only be this size. But the way the code's written today, if I put my sign like this, I can double the size, which you're correcting, and it should be corrected. The only thing is that while you're correcting it, and you might not have realized it, now that the sign can be like this, and we're only counting one side, the sign can be double the size. So every sign going down Route 45 can now be 40 square feet, 8 by 5. Picture a sheet of sheetrock, plywood, or if you've seen the sign on Saddle River Road at the shopping center, the blue, green, and white sign they put there, that's probably around an 8 by 5. Picture that at every single property going down Route 45 and Schoolhouse Road. It's too much. So that, enough said, just consider that. Okay, we're moving right along. There's been a lot of property owners, and you're well aware of it, that are complaining about the Cepha Lane area. And I was in Village Hall this morning, and Bridge Supply was in Village Hall because there was a complaint to the police department that he was making noise in the morning. Now, these are commercial uses, and the only people that really can be complaining, I mean, there's nobody around. I don't know that. I don't know that, and it's really none of my business. But the thing is, you know, for years, and our files are documented with complaints about the bus company, complaints about Mr. Slackman, complaints now about Ridge Supply, which we had complaints about Ridge Supply before. We've had complaints about Best Friends, but in this area, you have two major property owners with a few homes that are owned by the major property owners, and then you have a few other houses. Obviously, the major property owners are complaining about the commercial uses that we're allowing. I mean, Chestnut Ridge Associates has been complaining for the last 20 years about the dust, the fumes, and everything from the bus company. He's now complaining about Mr. Slackman's use. And I'm going to get shot here, but watch him.
He's ready.
What I think the board should suggest is, it sounds like your major property owners would rather see residential zoning. And what I'm going to suggest is that you think about changing that entire area to an RR50. It'll be nice and quiet, less traffic, and we won't have to contend with all these complaints. Okay, enough said on that.
Well, that's on a little piece of paper.
What? I sat there all day memorizing the speech. What's doing with BMW? I mean, we said, and I'm not gonna go into all the nitty-gritty details, that this type of thing was gonna stop. And from what I understand through the rumor mill, they just signed, or, and this might not be true, but I heard they signed a 3-year lease with Mr. Gaze. We haven't seen them before the planning board at all. I think, how long have they been there? 2 years, 3 years?
That's probably good.
BMW has been in the Justice Court for about a year.
Okay.
In addition to that, we have started an action for injunction in state Supreme Court. Mr. Barron is handling it because we believe it is not a permitted use, in addition to the fact that they do not have site plan approval. And so courts take time. I know it's been, Joe Mazzola's had them in court
Yeah.
since almost the very beginning when they started. And unfortunately, our courts are slow. And there have been no fines, and to my knowledge, I don't believe there's been a trial yet.
But did they intend to come before the planning board?
I have no idea. But we're not waiting. As I said, we've already started the action for injunction.
Because there hasn't been an application, and I was
No.
told that there would be an application.
They've been saying that for a year also.
Yes, yes.
But we have taken action, but it's, no resolution yet.
Okay. Fair enough. Is that fast enough? Thank you.
It took more time than I'm going to take, surprise. Richie Mitzner, 810 Chestnut Ridge Road. I understand what Mr. Levine is saying about the major owners around Zephyr Lane and Schoolhouse Road. Maybe we should put residential since they're complaining about commercial. The bottom line is they are complaining about commercial uses if it's not their commercial use. So of course, it's not going to be an option. I'm surprised to hear there's another complaint about Ridge Supply. The last one I addressed was code enforcement officer in 2006 when Mayor Kobre approached me one morning and go over the long list of alleged complaints from, at that time, you couldn't tell me who the complainant was. It turned out to be Tony Gase. I had gone, spent a lot of time, checked out all the complaints, wrote my report. Virtually, there wasn't any significant problems. About a month or so later, we went out there, Doris, Ulman, and I went out with the prints and everything, and after that investigation, it also came a clean bill of health for the gentleman. I mean, there's always violations. You always can find dirt somewhere, like the sergeant in boot camp. But it was a clean bill of health. But it seems like, I hope this isn't the start of something else, trying to run the man off his land to get it cheaper. In terms of BMW, I'm wondering what's the stage of the planned injunction, because I heard about the plan to have an injunction. I'm not necessarily agreeing with it, but the plan to have an injunction against them about a year ago. So I'm wondering what's the stage? You said the Supreme Court? Have papers been filed?
I believe they've been filed.
Can you find out and just let Florence know, and I'll give a call tomorrow, or Monday, I'll give a call Monday?
My last discussion with Mr. Baum on that was last week, and he said it was going to be filed. So it may have been filed by now, or it may be filed next week, but I will let her know.
All right, thank you. I'm wondering what is I had mentioned about illegal multiple dwellings that I had been working on before my tenure as code enforcement officer came to an end. That Herb Marshall was given a list, and one of them was the one on Schoolhouse Road. It was 858 Chestnut, not Schoolhouse Road, Chestnut Ridge Road, excuse me. 858 Chestnut Ridge Road, one with the circular driveway. And when I spoke to Mr. Marshall about a year and a half ago, and a couple of times since, there was no update on it. And I'm wondering what at least the update is on that one.
Is your neck bleeding?
You've got daggers in your eyes. What are you doing?
I'm looking at it too.
Whereabouts?
Right side.
All right, I'm on blood thinners. I'm sorry, it may look bad.
No, I just wanted to let you know.
Do you want a paper towel? I have.
No, no, thanks. I'll be all right.
Okay.
If it starts to gush, let me know. But, no, I know, you want to put a tourniquet around it. I so.
No, really.
Okay, I appreciate it, but it happens with blood thinners.
Take a break.
So, no, if I take a break, the public session will be over, I'll miss it.
Your neck's really bleeding.
All right.
I don't have anything on 838. I thought the
858?
number- I think the number you gave me at the last meeting was 864, wasn't it?
I may have.
That's the one I brought for you.
Oh, 86, if I gave that one, that's the wrong one, it's 858.
858, I I didn't know that.
If I said 864, my mistake. If you
Because
would-
there is a report on 864.
Yeah.
That it was also evidently a renter in the property, two-family, illegal.
I don't recall that at this time. I know it was 858, that was the one that was a two-family, and he was making a third family when I stopped it years ago.
858
Yes,
Chestnut Ridge?
right. Thank you. It may have even sold since that owner, which I'm surprised if it did without, because the file was filled with info on that one. He's the fellow that bought it, made it a two-family high ranch, and then closed in the garages and had built another apartment in the garage years ago. And of course, that was all ripped out. So, thank you. Is there any other updates or rumors or knowledge? Mr. Cohen and I had a little back and forth last month on the rumors of an alleged joint project by Mr. Myers and Mr. Gase. And has anything come of that at all? Can you talk about that? Anything before the board? No? All right. Those 70 acres approximate that I and the town of Ramapo assessor put back on the tax rolls that are now off the tax rolls, so Mr. Gase, have we gotten any, what they call it, certiorari thing that can give back money?
We did get a copy of the petition that was filed, but there's been no decision. I think Florence, that came in a week or two ago, didn't it?
What's
A
that?
petition on the Gates properties for reductions in tax assessments.
Might.
Yeah, I saw it just recently. But
Was it asking for back taxes because of repayment of back tax, not back taxes,
I think
back
it was-
exemptions?
I think it was based on the 2010 assessment,
All right, man.
not prior. I don't think they can go back.
I know that you had said that, and I'm hoping you're right,
I
because
think
it was,
legally they
it
can't,
wasn't a judge's
because if
order.
they don't file, you must file by a certain date. And I'm pretty sure anything, in order to go back, they would have had to have filed their petition with the court prior to that time.
They
So this
filed
one-
right after they lost the grievance hearings. That was back
But
in
that would have
'09.
been '09?
And then it went to the court. The court never rendered a decision. Don't know why. It went back to the town attorney.
Yeah.
And I just, two reasons for asking. One, I hate all the work I did to be undone. That's just my own personal motivation. And the other is it's taxpayer money.
I'll check again. I believe it was the petition we just got was for 2010.
Thank you. A suggestion, I got the newsletter followed by the picnic announcement, and would have liked to see some more stuff in the newsletter, but I understand. I thought of perhaps saving postage costs eventually, if the next newsletter that goes out, we put in something that asks people to give their email address. We might be able to start emailing addresses. You know, if they give their email address and their house address, we can knock out those labels when you're sending them out. It should be a significant savings for every. It's like the Preserve Ramapo. I get stuff all the time from them. Just a thought.
There's a new system now they had, which is only down 14 cents a piece instead of 25. Above the 40 cents is down 14 if they just, each letter carry that is area, like 10977, whatever it is.
Right.
He puts one in every single box. This way, everybody gets it. And you don't go through the labeling and whatnot.
Oh, I didn't have my.
That's a brand new service they just started. We tried it.
My name wasn't on my thing.
Your name wouldn't be on?
No, this one it probably was.
Oh, that one I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna start it with the next newsletter.
Yeah, my name is on there.
Yeah, we're gonna start it, Kelly did it.
Well,
Okay.
Everybody did.
Well, then maybe my idea could save 14 cents a piece. Just a thought. I noticed a bunch of campaign signs. out there, except for Alan Simon. I don't recognize any other names. Is there a reason why they were all taken away?
They don't have a, they didn't come in for,
$800?
right.
Were they notified?
If they didn't, if somebody comes in and complains and police doesn't have a
Contact number?
$100 from them, they get taken away.
Well, what we used to do is give them an opportunity. We used to call them and say,
That's what I told Joan Mazzola to do yesterday.
Okay.
So-
Was
So-and-so.
if they didn't have a permit to call and tell
Okay.
We
them.
get the 100 back once they.
Yeah,
oh,
that is $100.
I know, I enforced it for years, but I know we don't want proliferation throughout the village.
Well, all I do is to pick them up afterwards.
Yeah, that's. what
I understand it, but
Right.
I didn't want,
Deposit.
sometimes they just don't know, they put them up or their people put them up. So, okay. Has Herb Marshall successfully completed the requirements of a basic code enforcement training program established by the minimum standards of code enforcement personnel in the state of New York?
Yeah.
Now, I went in to look at the certificates, and he did take 3 of the 6 courses, but he did not get the certificate of having achieved the statement that I just read. I made some contacts with the state. According to them, short of completing all 6, he doesn't have a certificate. He has attended 3 classes. So I contend that his 2-year period to work without a certification is about to expire, and he should get it. And I'd like some documentation presented to me to show that he has fulfilled those things by the state.
Neither code enforcement officer was permitted to take more than the 3 courses. The reason being that they do not enforce the New York State Building Code. Only the building inspector is authorized to enforce the New York State Building Code. As a result, the Rockland County Personnel Department does not authorize anything other than the first 3 courses, and even the first 3 are not required. We asked them to go, and they did go for the first 3, but that's it.
So civil service or Rockland County, which I guess we're using interchangeably?
Yeah, Rockland County Personnel is
Civil service,
yes.
okay. They don't require them to have courses or a certification?
No, I checked it myself. There is no requirement.
So anyone,
Unless they are enforcing the state
building codes, as I was.
And basically, the courses that are given are primarily, from what I understand, for state building code, not for local enforcement.
No, well, I'm sure it's changed since I took it and upgraded.
Particularly the later courses, they're fire inspections and building inspections.
I'm gonna check further because.
Call
the state-
personnel.
No, I know, and the state may be trumping the counties, so I'm gonna check further.
Yeah, the state is talking about people who are dealing with the state building code. When you call them again, ask them.
I know, I specifically said to do code enforcement 1 work.
They don't know the difference. You have to
They
specify
seem-
that people who don't enforce the
Building
New York
code?
State building
Okay,
code.
I'll do it. I'll put it on my long list. You probably won't be hearing from me too soon on my answer on
My response is not going to change.
that. Okay. Well, that would be a change of pace in
No,
itself.
it's not.
Hal Sherman asked me, he couldn't make it tonight. Is there any updates, any changes, any light at the, this was his words, light at the end of the tunnel
It's the same
for his
light that-
disaster because the rains this past week?
I just spoke to him again, the state, I even asked him if they would do just his piece to get started. He said, no, they can't break it out from the whole project. The whole project, again, for 400 fine from them. It's scheduled for April, and that's when it'll be done, and they can't do pieces of it.
They're gonna do something that's gonna alleviate this problem in April?
Supposedly, yeah, sure, that's the whole thing's supposed to be.
Which April? I've been around long enough, which April?
12. That's the
Oh,
next.
2012, that's right, that is the next one, you got me. All right, good. Well, on behalf of Hal, we're inviting the whole village board to come picnic at the back of his house at the next 4 to 8 inch rainstorm. It really is a disaster, it's a shame.
It's a shame is that they didn't come in when they said they were going to come in originally and do the job.
I think that's it for you guys. You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry. You just brought up, at one of your meetings, there was a lot of.
Fix the mic up just for the sake of it.
At one of your meetings,
Carry that one.
there was a lot of discussion about people getting flooded on Grafton. And I had just thrown out a wild suggestion of possibly flooding the park during major storms. Did anybody ever look into that?
Brought it to the county. They said they had no money.
But is it feasible, has anybody looked into if it's feasible? I mean, the stream, the Pascack Brook runs through the park, and the park has a huge pond. So, I mean, with all the engineering, you know, is it feasible? Has anybody looked into whether it's feasible during a major storm?
I talked to Skip Pizzetti. He said they have no money now.
We have houses that are going underwater, so, okay.
I'm not
Is it
I'm
something?
disagreeing with you. I'm
I
just
know,
telling you what the
but
county's saying.
is it something that we're gonna try to follow through
Sure.
on? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
To close the public section of the meeting.
All those in favor? Anyone against? Okay, public session closed. Resolution 2011-55, authorizing the renewal of contract with Union Pool.
Move 2020, 2/11/55.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Anyone against? So moved. On all these, everybody's saying it's okay, remember they say we don't put people voting on. 2011-56, authorizing various tax refunds ordered by STAR, SCAR, proceeding.
Point of information, this is something insignificant, a couple $100 or something.
There are 5 single-family houses. The total of all 5 comes to a little over $300.
Thank you. I
Each
mean,
one is under 100.
Yeah, not that it's not money to those people, but,
Yeah, they're
Nothing.
small amounts.
right.
I'll move 2011-56.
Second. All those in favor? Okay, 2011-57. Scheduling a public hearing on proposed local law entitled Local Law, amending local law number 20 of 1987, the zoning law of the village of Chestnut Ridge in relation to non-conforming uses. Scheduling a public hearing.
I'll move 2011-57.
Second, so
Yeah, I'll second.
You gotta say. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? So moved. 2011-58, scheduling a public hearing on proposed local law entitled Local Law amending local law number 20 of 1987, the zoning law of the village of Chestnut Ridge in relation to the size of signs.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? So moved. Scheduling a public hearing on proposed local law entitled Local Law amending local law number 20 of 1987, the zoning law of the village of Chestnut Ridge to remove inconsistencies relating to refuse.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? So moved. Authorizing the advertisement of bids for drainage work on Williams Road vicinity.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? So moved.
Point of information, I don't think it's involved, they've been working on the overpass there for a
That's
while.
the throughway. It has
Two
nothing to
separate
do with
things.
It's nothing with, we're talking about putting in drains or.
Right, I just didn't know, maybe sometimes one end doesn't know what the other end's doing, and the state's doing one thing, and then we want to do something else, and maybe they're complicating it or vice versa.
Not as far as being.
Okay.
Resolution 2011-61, approving the abstract of water plan.
I'll move. Resolve that the general fund. Sorry. I'll speak loud.
What?
Resolve that the general fund claims set forth on pages 1 through 3 of the abstract or audited claims number 2011-3 dated August 18th in the aggregate amount of $161,851.22 is hereby approved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone? Yes, unanimously. That's it.
I'll move that the meeting be adjourned.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for being here.